reading is just like breathing in, and writing is just like breathing out. Hello and welcome to everyone to the Books and Bliss Club. Today I am being a reader, and with me is one fresh writer, Prasun Kundu with me, and today we are going to interview him regarding his latest book, Corporate Bhagavad Gita. Hello Prasun,
Hi,
how are you?
Fine.
So let's directly go to the interview. My first question to you is, when did you first think that you have a writer within you?
See, a writer within you, in college we used to, I love math.
Oh.
So every day we used to write letter to each other. So that's when I realized that I can write well. And 1998, when I was working with Nestle, I was nominated for one of the programs by Shiv Khera. The program was called Blueprint for Success. That was a 2 days program. I attended that program and I realized, and then I read some books by Deepak Chopra, then The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. Then I realized most of these trainers, they use Bhagavad Gita as the source.
True.
And since then I had this thing in mind that once I get some time, I'll pursue Bhagavad Gita to know what Bhagavad Gita is and to present it the way it is. Okay, because there are thousands of tikas and tippanis and literature available on Bhagavad Gita. However, if you look at it, is our literature which is known in the world, which is accepted in the world, and which is accepted as the greatest scripture that we have given to the world, our gift to the world. However, every household in India will have a Bhagavad Gita.
Yes.
Everyone will have Bhagavad Gita, everyone knows Bhagavad Gita, but if you tend to ask someone, have you read it? So, वो मंदिर जाने से पहले या ऑफिस जाने से पहले वो उसको प्रणाम करके जाते हैं, बट खोल के देखने का कष्ट इसलिए भी शायद नहीं किया जो हमने रियलाइज किया. What I realized is Bhagavad Gita, the original text comes in Sanskrit.
Right.
In Indian schools, Sanskrit used to be one of the languages till class 8 when I studied.
Yes.
It has been withdrawn and it has been given as an optional subject, and people now tend to take other foreign languages because of, it's not the fault of the teacher, the students also, because the opportunities that it gives in the short term is weighed much beyond the Sanskrit language. And because Bhagavad Gita comes in Sanskrit, people usually are not, they don't like, they are not comfortable reading Bhagavad Gita. And the thought was there in my mind for quite some time that what if I write a book, I'll write on Bhagavad Gita, the Mool Shlok, which is in Sanskrit, then in Hindi, how it translates in English, and then how it deciphers in our day-to-day life. So how it can be put to use, which is more important. Because if you look at Bhagavad Gita, it is a way of living. Okay. However, in our context, what happens is, if a youth goes to some Bhagavad Gita seminar or he starts reading Bhagavad Gita, the grandparents will say, "Arey, ye to marne ke time pe padhi hai."
True.
So Bhagavad Gita is not about dying miserably, but it is about living happily.
My second question is, were you totally clear in your mind about the theme of your book when you started writing this book?
Absolutely. I was totally clear about what the subject of the book is going to be. However, when I started, because I was also very handicapped in Sanskrit, and then I thought that this is a vast subject, because Bhagavad Gita is not a very easy subject to pick up. There are 700 shlokas in Bhagavad Gita. There are 18 chapters. They are called the Adhyayas. Now, out of the 18 chapters, 18th chapter is also called the Upsamhar, okay, which is the summary of the Bhagavad Gita. Now, summary of the Bhagavad Gita meaning it is a summary of the first 17 chapters. So, it includes everything that is there in the first 17 chapters. The points which were hinted at in the first 17 chapters are now explained elaborately here. So, I thought that let me start with chapter 18,
Okay.
because it encompasses the whole of Bhagavad Gita.
Summary.
And it is said that if you have read and understood chapter 18 of Bhagavad Gita, you have read and understood Bhagavad Gita in itself.
Okay.
And so I restricted my research to chapter 18 of Bhagavad Gita. and that's how it is. This
So,
is the thing.
so I'm curious to know how much time it took to write this book.
See, to write this book, it took me around four and a half months. However, when I started and I wanted to actually know the subject better and to decipher it better, to put it so that people are able to put it to use, the book is, and I have mentioned in my book, this book is not to be read like a fiction novel.
Right.
Okay. So you need to read one stroke at a time, decipher it with the examples that I have cited, how it relates to you, and how you are able to imbibe it in your daily life. So once you have done that, move on to the next one. So don't read it like a fiction novel. So it took me four and a half months. In the meantime, simultaneously I joined Chinmaya Mission because there is a way of chanting the shlokas.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I then learned how to chant the shlokas. So all this thing came very handy. So today I can chant
Right.
the shlokas.
Is how different kind of challenges you faced during writing this book, because as this is your first book and you are not a professional writer before this book, so what kind of challenges you faced during writing the book?
See, the challenges were not many. In terms of learning the language, in terms of learning the way it is, how it is to be chanted. Otherwise, I was very clear that I will write on Bhagavad Gita, and then it became clearer when I zeroed it to the chapter 18, and that also happened by accident, because when I went to Chinmaya Mission and I started learning Bhagavad Gita, the teacher said we will start with chapter 18.
Okay.
And when we started chapter 18 and I started doing research on that, and that is when I told my wife that every chapter of Bhagavad Gita, a book can be written.
Right.
Okay, so I decided that I will limit my research at present to chapter 18, and that is what I did when I was writing that book. So I researched a lot of material, because Bhagavad Gita is like a ocean full of jewels. The more you dive deep, the more jewels you are bound to discover. So I kept on discovering this, and it's endless. So and I started enjoying it.
Right.
So there were days that I used to write, then I used to think how it will decipher, how it connects with the daily life, and how it is an action-oriented book. So what is a righteous duty, what is to be done, what is not to be done. So Bhagavad Gita is a prescription, not a description.
True.
So that's how it is.
Okay. So do you ever think to release your book on online platform like Amazon in a form of ebook rather than publishing it in a hard copy?
Good question. In fact, after I finished my book, I started in the month of May, I finished it in the month of September. For me, it was important to get it published. So, publisher was not important. Publishing was important. And incidentally, I got a publisher, and 5th of January 2019 happened to be the start of the World Book Fair which happens in Pragati Maidan, Delhi. And the publisher said that he will be able to do it for us. So we said, okay, so let's go ahead. And we launched the book on 5th of January 2019. Deliberately, we have not come out with the Kindle version, the online version. It is available on Amazon and Flipkart. It's also available in Ahmedabad in the AMA bookstore. Now is the time when we are working on the Kindle mode. Okay. So Kindle we will be releasing in a month's time. So we wanted first it to come as a hard copy and let people get used to this, and then we'll come out.
So easy to find publishers for your book, because as it is your first book, and sometimes many publishers reject many books. So was it an easy path?
I'll have to thank the Almighty for that.
Right.
Okay, because I had approached all the big houses, Penguin Random House, Jayco, Rupa, Tata McGraw-Hill, and one standard reply that I used to get was, you will have to wait for 6 months before they are able to pick up a script and read, forget about the publishing and maybe a feedback. Whether they are going to publish or not, that would have taken a year's time. and I didn't have time on hand because I wanted it to get published and to be on the shelves of the book fair in January. So I had put a post in LinkedIn, and this publisher approached me. So I said, okay, let's go ahead.
Wow.
It was important.
That's interesting. So, any budding writers, if you are watching here, you don't need to go for the big houses. You can find your publishers even in your LinkedIn. So today, in the era of social media and social networks, we can easily find our publishing partners, and they are ready to find new authors, and they are ready to give opportunity to new authors, just like how Prasun Kundu got the
I'd
opportunity.
like to add something here. If anyone who is a first-time writer and he needs help, because I've gone through this grind,
Yes.
please come back to me. If I can help, I will definitely help.
Wow, thank you. So, why one should read Corporate Bhagavad Gita?
See, as I said, Bhagavad Gita is all about the way of living. Okay. And corporate Bhagavad Gita, it has a tagline, discover the Arjuna in you. Now, if you look at in the battlefield, when Arjun was what? At his point in time, and till today, he is considered to be one of the greatest bow builders of all time. मछली की आंख भेद के उसी ने स्वयंवर में जीता था द्रौपदी को. ठीक है, that was the might of Arjun. He was also called Dhananjay. Okay, so Arjun is Arjavam, who is very straightforward, and Arjun is also who is hungry for knowledge. He was also called Dhananjay because of his attributes. He has also gained a lot of wealth. He has won a lot of battles. However, when they reached the battle of Kurukshetra, he asked, his charioteer was Lord Shri Krishna. He had some pride in him because he was one of the greatest bow builders, and he wanted to see. He said that I want to see कि मुझे इस युद्ध के लिए किसने ललकारा है. Can you take the chariot to the middle of the battlefield? And that is when Shri Krishna takes the chariot to the middle of the battlefield. And when he looks in front of him and finds that in enemy Bhishma Pitama, Drona, Acharya, Dronacharya, Duryodhan, Karna, his family, his friends, that is the time when he thinks that what am I going to do? अगर मैं ये जीता तो भी हारा तो हारे, ठीक है, इन सबको मार के मुझे क्या मिलने वाला है? And that is when he gets deluded. He starts running fever. So Gandhi gets जाता है. He sits down on the chariot and he admits to Lord Shri Krishna that I cannot fight. And that is when Lord Krishna takes over. So if you look at in Bhagavad Gita teachings, Lord Shri Krishna starts as his charioteer. He takes the role as his teacher.
Yes.
And even as a teacher, when Arjuna is not convinced, he shows him the Vishal Swarup.
Yes.
Vishwarup. And then he takes the form of God. So in our daily life also, in our corporate life also, as a parent also, we take all the three routes, isn't it? When we are dealing with people, when we are dealing with... So Bhagavad Gita is not only about what is this scripture, it is essential, it is important. But subtly so many messages are given in Bhagavad Gita that you can pick up so many things and implement it in your daily life.
Okay.
So just for an example, the first slok of the 18th chapter is Sanyasasya Mahabhaho Tattvam Ichhami Veditum Tyagasya cha Rishikesha Pruthak Keshini Shuddha. So Arjuna is asking the Lord that please tell me the difference between Tyag and Sannyas, because both Tyag and Sannyas encompass renunciation as a word.
Yes.
Pruthak Ke is separately, distinctly, please make me explain. And that is when Lord Shri Krishna starts, he gives 4 points of views first. He could have told him the difference between Tyag and Sannyas, but he gives him 4 points of view. Just to emphasize on what are the different points of views which are available, and then what I think, which is my view, and only then he comes as a leader also, and as a communicator also, as a negotiator also. Whenever we are interacting with people, isn't it right to give different perspectives which are available? Because anyone who is posing a question will always come from a background where he will have some idea, or he would have heard something about that, or some answer in his mind. So it's always better to build that perspective that these are the opinions which are available. However, according to me, this is what should be done, and that is what he does. So it's very amazingly good. Bhagavad Gita, the more you read, the more you get into it, and more you just keep on falling in love with it.
So, what changes you undergo during and after writing this book?
Lot of them. Because the perspective to live life changes. One thing that comes out very, very clearly from my research and my understanding, because Bhagavad Gita is something that I am a student, I was a student, I am a student, I will remain a student. Because every stage of life, whatever stage of evolution you are in, the slokas and the teachings keep on changing their meaning to fit the stage of evolution that you are in. So anyone will always remain a student of Bhagavad Gita. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People was written by Stephen Covey. Bhagavad Gita says 6. Now 6 habits of living a holistic life. So how to lead a holistic life. So these the 6 virtues which are knowledge, which is jnana, karma, which is the action or the activity that you undertake, karta is the doer, jnana, karma, karta, buddhi, which is the intellect. Now how is buddhi different from knowledge? So intellect is knowledge converted into action.
True.
So any knowledge which can be converted into action is called the intellect. It helps you convert knowledge into action. Then dhruti is the fortitude or the patience that one requires. And ultimate goal of life is happiness. So the 6th virtue is happiness. So that is how it has been explained. Then all the 3 virtues, it says that Prakruti. Now you call it God, you call it Almighty, you call it the Mother Nature. There is a force which is beyond your control.
Yes.
And that force has to be respected.
Yes.
Because you are too small
Exactly.
when the force starts acting on you. So any purpose of every life is happiness. Prakriti is Trigunatmak. Okay. Now Trigunatmak is there are 3 gunas, which is Sattvic, Rajasic and Tamasic. So all the 6 virtues are explained as what all do you need to possess, or if someone possesses these qualities, he is Sattvic, Rajasic or a Tamasic. Even this office has an address, so Adhisthan.
Yes.
Okay, so to do anything, so for us also we need Adhisthan, body. Karta, so which is the doer. Karanam, sense organs, so like we need sense organs in any organization parlance. These are the different departments of a. So for example, if you have a clinic, so different people who are supporting that clinic becomes a sense organs, and you do all the or I do all the necessary action or activities, which is the vitality or the pran. Vividhasya prutak chestaha. Even if these 4 are together, okay, success coming or eluding you is dependent on the 5th factor, which is called the Vividhasya prutak chesta, Daivam Chaivatra Panchamam. 5th element is Daivam. Daivam is a force which is beyond you. Okay? So you can call it Almighty, you can call it God, you can call it Krishna, you can call it the Mother Nature, but there is a force which is beyond you. And that is where I realized that when I have left my corporate job. I was into a corporate job for the last 23 years. My last assignment was as a regional head for West for one of the multinational companies. But then I thought, let me get into my thing that I want to pursue and my passion. And that is where I realized that while when I started, I thought that success will come. I'll be successful. But it is not like that. So you have to work towards it. It may come, it may not come. So Daivam is something which plays a very, very important part, and that is where what I have learned, and now I'm coming back to your question, is to be fearless.
Fearless, oh great.
Okay. We also say that control the controllables. Okay. So I can only do something which is under my control. Okay, so whether what is under my control, I am doing it righteously or not, as my dharma or not.
Right.
So that is where Bhagavad Gita has come very, very handy.
Right.
So today, if I look at my past,
Mm.
Prasun Kundu maybe 1 year
Mm.
before and now, today I know that if I have to do something, why I need to do it,
Mm.
and whether success comes or not comes. I should not be very elated if it comes. I
Right.
should not be too dejected if
Dejected.
it does not come. However, it is easier said than done.
Mm.
It requires years of practice. I am just a student. I just started. But definitely, whenever in situations like this, I always go back to the Bhagavad Gita, and it gives me a lot. So one thing, answering your question again,
Mm.
that it has made me fearless.
Oh wow, it's amazing thing. My next question is, so can any person without proper training of being an author can write a book?
Yes, why not? Writing is expression.
Right.
Writing is expression, and anything that you love to do, if you are able to express yourself, then you should write a book.
Right.
And what better way to constructively engage than writing a book or reading a book? As you said, breathing in is reading and breathing out is writing. So in life also, if you breathe in, you have to breathe out.
Yeah.
So the more you breathe in, so
Yeah.
the more you breathe out, share with people.
Right.
Writing is all about sharing with
Yes.
people. So why not? Everyone can.
True. So, what are the top 3 advice you will give to the budding authors?
Number one, my editor told me, he in fact gave me a compliment that the script that I had sent, I submitted to the publisher. He said that many of the published writers don't write the way you write.
Okay.
Okay. However, he gave me a word of caution also. In fact, advice that if anyone is budding writer or is willing to write or is planning to start writing, just write. There are editors, there are content writers who will correct it for you grammatically, spelling wise, but the thought will always be yours. Okay, so please write. There are people who will take care of the semantics. Don't
Right,
worry,
right.
but write. So that is one. Two, if you feel that I have to write on one subject, please do that, because if you are an expert on that subject, or if you're passionate about that subject, expertise is not important, but passion is more important. So if you're more passionate about the subject, pick up that subject and write. And number 3, don't get intimidated by other books. Okay, so be driven by your own passion, be driven by yourself, and you read other books to take content, to understand, to increase your knowledge base, put that knowledge into intellect, convert that knowledge into intellect. However, be yourself, be honest as a writer, and I think
Wow. So these are 3 golden advices to all the budding writers. Write, and don't compare your writing with anyone else. You will find the technical helps sooner or later on. So what are your expectations from this book?
See, I had written this book from 2 perspectives. So the civilizations in this world didn't exist. So it is, वो बोलते ना, guru ज्ञान. So all of us can draw something from Bhagavad Gita and still enrich our life. So my expectation when I was writing this book were twofold. One is to make Bhagavad Gita very, very decipherable for a common man, so that people gain interest in Bhagavad Gita. Most of the books today, if you read, are drawn from Bhagavad Gita, and no one claims that it is drawn from Bhagavad Gita. So I wanted to present Bhagavad Gita as Bhagavad Gita and still make it understood to people. So this is a small endeavor. 2, I have also converted this book into a corporate training module. And my program is called Discover the Arjuna. So most of us today, in fact all of us, are deluded because of, not because we want to be deluded, because of the 5 sense organs, ठीक है, जो हमको जड़ित किए हुए हैं, and because of the peer pressure, because of societal pressure, because of materialistic needs that we in fact invent for ourselves. Invent तो खैर ठीक है, but it is actually imposed on us, because that is how we are conditioned since the beginning. and that is where we get dependent. And there is so much of pressure in whatever pressure to perform, wherever you go. So at any given point in time, whether we are doing the right thing or we are doing things right is something that we need to understand. Okay. The moment an individual is able to decipher between the two, whether I am doing the right thing or I am doing the things right, he will or she will be a happy person. Because if you do the right things, you know, like it is said that you have to speak the truth only once and lies 1,000 times.
Right.
Okay, because to hide that truth, you will have to keep on, and that is when you get into that vicious circle. Yeah. So if you are able to do the right things, you have to do it only once, and you will have so much of time at hand for the distractions not to follow you. And that is where the productivity of an individual goes up. If the productivity of an individual goes up, if we have, organizations are talking about engagement, motivation, leadership, communication, gap between skill and talent, so many things that, if I am able to understand what is the right thing that I need to do I need anything else?
No.
Do I need motivation?
Everything will take care of itself, I guess.
And that is what Bhagavad Gita is. And we just have to understand what is the right thing. And once an employee of an organization or anywhere is able to understand, even a student, that this is the right thing that I need to do, that is where you have engaged employee, you have motivated employee, the productivity of that employee or the productivity of that individual goes very high. The individual is happy. If the happiness quotient, I remember one of the discussions that we have, you were talking about happiness quotient. If the overall happiness quotient of the society goes up, just think where we are. Or where will we be.
And my last question to you, so what are the future project of Mr. Prasun Kundu? Books.
I will be writing in and around Bhagavad Gita.
Okay.
And the next project that I am already on is strategic situational leaderships from Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So it will take some time because I am also pursuing my other passion alongside. But definitely whatever I do, it will revolve around the Bhagavad Gita.
So this is Mr. Prasun Kundu with a wonderful book, and I think he is fortunate enough, or we are fortunate enough, that his first book is based on Bhagavad Gita, which contains all the answers of all the problems of life. At any age you can read this book, and at any problem you can get the solution from this book. So do read this book. He has converted this into the very practical way so that we can correlate it with the day-to-day life. And he is very much passionate about Bhagavad Gita now, that he wants to build his next project also around Bhagavad Gita and relate it with to not only a corporate life but even at student life, at retired life, everywhere, wherever you want to find your happiness, everything can be found out from the Bhagavad Gita. So that's it from our side. In next session we will come with another interview of another author. Till then, bye.